Hi there. Now we are doing lesson number 20, one of my favorite lessons. You know what? They're all favorites, but I just love this one. It was so powerful when I started the first time I read it, and it was like, wow, I love this statement. And it is, I am determined to see. It's a very powerful declaration that I am determined to see. Again, I love this lesson. Paragraph number 1. We have been quite casual about our practice periods thus far. There has been virtually no attempt to direct the time for undertaking them. Minimal effort has been required, and not even active cooperation and interest have been asked. This approach has been intentional and very carefully planned. I love how deliberate Jesus is about moving us on this journey of training our mind in such a beautiful way, carefully planned. We have not lost sight of the crucial importance of the reversal of your thinking. The salvation of the world depends on it. Yet you will not see if you regard yourself as being coerced and if you give into resentments and opposition. So we're moving slowly so that we can see that there's a beautiful process that is happening here. Paragraph number 2. This is our first attempt to introduce structure. Do not misconstrue it as an effort to exert force or pressure on us. You want salvation, right? I am determined to see, which means I will do whatever it is that I need to do to be able to get to the place that I can see the way Jesus sees, the way the Holy Spirit sees. So, because I want salvation, I am open to the structure. Bring it on now. Paragraph 2 still, sentence number 4. You want to be happy. You want peace. You do not have them now because your mind is totally undisciplined and you cannot distinguish between joy and sorrow, pleasure and pain, love and fear. You are now learning how to tell them apart, and great indeed will be your reward. So we're learning that our thoughts swing from good to bad. We have no idle thoughts. We are always thinking with the past. We have assigned meaning on things. Our thoughts are not alone. Now we're determined to see. Because we have discovered in the previous 19 lessons, we got a problem going on in here. We have this powerful mind, powerful, don't want to call it a machine, but let's use that word, powerful machine that we don't really know how to use. We didn't get the instruction manual. And now we finally have the instruction manual. And now you realize, wow, if I learn how to use this thing, I'm going to create a world that I love. And I'm going to feel peace, and I'm going to feel joy, and I'm going to feel connection. Who doesn't want that? So I am determined to see what is in this manual so that I can really enjoy my life and experience what is my birthright, which is to be happy, to be joyful, to be free. Let's go to paragraph number 3. Your decision to see is all that vision requires. What you want is yours, because if you desire it, all you're doing is saying, I'm accepting what's already available to me. It doesn't have to be created for you. You are accepting that it was already created and given to you by God, but blocked because you were not seen correctly. You were seen with the ego, which meant you put a veil between you and the truth. Do not mistake the little effort that is asked of you for an indication that our goal is of little worth. Can the salvation of the world be a trivial purpose? And can the world be saved if you are not? You can't save the world until you save yourself. God has one Son, and He is the resurrection and the life. Let me speak to this for a second. God has one Son. That is because God has created only oneness. There is one energy that appears as all these different beings, as all these different planets, as all these different continents, as all these different constellations. All that God has created, to God, it is one. So the reason our minds are joined is because we're all one energy. We're all one field expressing itself individually. So it's like you have one painting in your house that has all kinds of people on it. Well, It's one painting. God sees us as one painting, as one beautiful tapestry. And each of us, when we think that we're separate individual people in that painting, acting on our own or protecting ourselves, are not enjoying the oneness that we have been created to experience, because the mind is not trained to see oneness, it's trained to see separation and division. So God has one son, and we are the resurrection and the life. So we've got to wake up and resurrect ourselves out of this dream-like state where we are dead inside, where we don't really truly feel the truth of who we are. You know, most of us are operating as if we are fully alive, but we carry regrets, we carry sadness, we carry longings for things to be different. A lot of us pretend and think that we're happy, but not really fully. And until we take this inventory and come inside, we're not going to discover the truth of what we've been missing out on. So we have to resurrect, we have to come alive, we've got to renew our mind so that we can become a new being by accepting who we are as God created us. So his will is done because all power is given him in heaven and on earth. So whether we are on the other side of the veil, which you could call as heaven, or we're here on this planet, moving through the 3D world, doing our work to renew our mind, to come to the place of awareness of the truth of who we are, it doesn't matter whether it's at the Jesus where the Christ is right now. Jesus doesn't need a body, so he's operating non-physically, or we're here physically. We need to understand that Jesus has the same power that we have here. He, through Course in Miracles, is teaching us how to use that power so we can resurrect, so we can come alive, so that we can begin to see things according to the way that God already created them, so that we can truly experience heaven on earth. In your determination to see is vision given you. Keyword, determination. You have to want to know what God knows more than anything in the world. For me, that was my mission. That is why I believe my awakening process happened in a relatively short period of time. Within 5 years of my journey, I was observing my ego. I was able to be the presence of awareness, aware of what was going on in my mind. That inner child healing work happened relatively quickly because I was determined to see. I knew that there was more to me, that I couldn't possibly be the pain that I had experienced, that I couldn't possibly be my story, that I couldn't possibly be my past, because I was studying, I was understanding that there was more than what I thought was the truth. In your determination to see is vision given you. The universe is conspiring to wake us up. So this is something that you are going to get support in, but you have to be determined to want it more than anything else. Paragraph number 4. The exercises for today consist in reminding yourself throughout the day that you want to see. Put it in your phone. If you have a smartphone, put a couple of alarms throughout the day and just put the lessons every day and let yourself have those lessons pop up as reminders. This is what I did, and it helped me tremendously. And things like I'm determined to see, those stayed on for a long, long time, along with the other lessons that showed up every day. But I had my little ritual. I would get up early in the morning. I would do my lessons. I would put them in my phone, keep the ones that past ones that I liked. And it was just a routine. It's just the way that I created my personal practice. Sentence number 2, paragraph 4. Today's idea also tacitly implies the recognition that you do not see now. So get comfortable. If you're determined to see, why are you needing to see? Because you're not seeing clearly. Therefore, as you repeat the idea, you are stating that you are determined to change your present state for a better one, and one you really want. And this is where the honesty kicks in. We haven't been doing life as wonderfully as we might have thought that we were, because we're realizing that there's more, that there's a better way, that there's a lighter way, that there's a more joyful way. That means we are recognizing, the way that we've been doing it, maybe we were wrong in thinking that was the best. Maybe what is coming is different, and we're moving towards something that we weren't aware of before. But in our determination to want to experience the joy, the happiness that is our birthright, we will be able to see, because you now know you want to override your past thinking because you want to accept something new that you didn't know was available to you until you're learning it, that it is through the Course in Miracles. Paragraph number 5. So repeat today's idea slowly and positively at least twice an hour today, attempting to do so every half hour. Do not be distressed if you forget to do so, but make a real effort to remember. The extra repetitions should be applied to any situation, person, or event that upsets you. Whatever it is that triggers you, you want to be in a position, say, you get triggered, you have that judgment, and you know it, you see it, because you're paying attention to your ego, you're becoming, making it your amigo, because you're observing what his thought patterns are, and then you recognize, I'm upset. Why? Because I'm not seeing accurately. I'm determined to see the truth that is there. You can see them differently, and you will. What you desire, you will see. Powerful, powerful line. If you desire happiness, you will see it, but you got to give up projecting the misery, projecting the judgments, projecting the things that are ugly that you keep pointing at. Oh my God, this is terrible. This is bad. I don't like this. I don't like that. Well, it's coming from your mind and you're creating it. So if you're creating things you don't like, it's because you desire to have them there. They don't show up without your invitation. Now we're inviting something new to come in, which is why we're determined to see differently. Such is the real law of cause and effect as it operates in the world. So whatever we are thinking about, we are bringing about. We are going to have to realize that we have been very powerful, have incredible power at our disposal, and we've been using it incorrectly because we didn't know what we were doing. So we forgive ourselves for we knew not what we were doing. But now that our mind is being trained and we're beginning to see that we were seeing through a glass that was clouded, through a veil, we are going to want to remove the veil, remove the cloudiness, remove the darkness, let those clouds get out of the way so that we can see clearly. And that requires our decision and our desire to want to see so that it can happen. If you don't want things to change, well, they're not going to happen. So you have to desire it. And obviously, if you're here, it's because you desire it. Thanks a bunch for that desire, because you, just as I am, are important catalysts in changing this entire world so that eventually we can all experience heaven on earth when we get into the place of heaven within our own selves. Thanks a bunch, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.